Welcome back to another episode of Ballroom Chat, the podcast dedicated to sharing the dance journey. I'm your host, Samantha with Love.Live.Dance. Today, I am joined by Deborah Holmes and Stefan Badea. They are the founders of the Heartsoles Foundation, a nonprofit dedicated to sharing the joy of dance with dancers all around the world. Specifically, they are starting in Cape Town, South Africa, with the goal of raising $10,000 and 1,000 donated shoes by 2022 to donate to the dance community there. We sat down and talked today about the start of the foundation, their goals and hopes and dreams for the future, and also their dancing partnership. They are a pro-am couple that has been dancing for a 2.5 year period. And we talked a little bit about how their dance relationship built into a friendship, into a business partnership as well. So please enjoy my conversation today with Deborah and Stefan. Well, thank you, Deborah and Stefan, for being guests today on the podcast.
Happy to be here.
Thanks for having us.
So I mentioned in the introduction that you are the founders of the Heartsoles Foundation, a nonprofit organization with the mission of collecting and equipping dancers with shoes and clothing and the ability to compete at a better level than they are currently able to. So can you tell us a little bit about how the foundation got started and a little bit more about that mission?
Yeah, so basically the foundation got started with we were kind of talking back and forth, and Deb already had a little bit of or more I should say of how would you call that? You're already involved a little bit into this whole idea of you giving back to the dancers a little bit, and she really was a little more established in
well, I've done philanthropy for a while. In my past life, I was a lawyer.
Past life.
I was a child sexual abuse lawyer, so it was always about sort of giving back to the community. And we, as a family, our family had built houses and schools and things like that for just to give back in a kind of a social conscience kind of way. And I happened to be in South Africa a few years ago, and I was at a competition. I was not competing, but I had brought some shoes there that were donated to me. And when we passed them out at this little regional competition, it was like this kind of light bulb moment for me that there are so many dancers in other parts of the world that could really benefit from things, and how lucky we are to have the ability to get these things. So when Stefan and I got together and started talking about what we could do, like basically during the pandemic, it's like there's got to be more we can be doing, right? Because we're not dancing much, and there are really ballroom dancers in our area that are suffering, that don't have funds because they're not teaching, they don't have what they need right now. We have to be able to give back, and we're both very fortunate to be able to be in a position that we can do that. So that's kind of how it got started, and then we just sort of snowballed.
Exactly, we just kind of started talking back and forth, and we really just started with the idea of, let's just see what happens. Let's collect a few shoes, and how can we do this? How can we kind of go about it? And then we talked about and collaborated more, and we started the foundation, and we started going from competition to competition with really no big expectation.
Right.
And we just started doing that,
and it's gone crazy.
It really just kind of it didn't snowball. It was just an avalanche that just came through, and we just got an overwhelming amount of donations, which is fantastic. I don't think either of us expected how generous the dance community was, and we just went from there, and from one competition to another. We've been to what, 3 now? 3 comps so far, and we've already gotten a fair amount of shoes, to the point where we're both like, where are we gonna put these shoes? Where are we gonna stack them? Like the driveways, or
my garage is like starting to fill up. We're gonna need a storage unit soon. So we were really fortunate. The first competition that we went to, um,
which was a Desert Classic, I believe.
yes,
Yeah.
Igor and Arena
Arina
Subarov.
Yeah.
They were just so lovely, and they said, "Sure, of course, bring a banner." And they advertised it a little bit, and we put some things out on Facebook, and we had this, like Stefan said, an avalanche of shoes delivered.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We probably had, I don't know, about 100 pairs by the end of the weekend of donated shoes.
Yeah, and sorry to interrupt, but not just shoes. We had some ballroom attire as well. We had some practice clothing as well, which was awesome because again we came out with the idea of just shoes, but then after that people really wanted to contribute more. So then we're like, yeah, of course we'll accept anything and everything that's dance related.
Yeah, we had even some vendors donated some new clothing.
Mm-hmm.
We had a shoe manufacturer in China reach out to us and say, "Hey, I'd really like to be a part of this too." They shipped us. We haven't received them yet, but they're. I have the shipping notice. They 350 new pairs of shoes. We had an anonymous donor make a pretty substantial financial contribution. And then this influx of these shoes that are some barely worn, some well-loved, costumes, practice wear. It's been really incredible. And then we had Dance Vision and USDC reach out to us, and they're on board, and they're, promoting and helping us. And we're going to Gatsby, right?
Yeah, we're going to be going to Gatsby this weekend coming up here, and they're also fantastic. But before that, we were at San Antonio Classic.
Yeah, they were amazing.
Yeah, where Jason and Sveta daily with Eddie, they were awesome. They're like, yeah, go ahead and you guys can put your banner up. And again, we had a great amount of people come out and just support and donate. And this upcoming weekend we're going to be at Gatsby, and kind of the same thing. We're just going to be putting a banner and a donation box out there, and then every time we walk by there, we kind of take a look, and it's kind of like Christmas. You look at a tree kind of, and you see more shoes pop up. So yeah, it's been quite a fantastic journey so far for such a short period of time.
Yeah. So our current, I do have another question, or shall I continue?
Go ahead.
I was going to say that our current plan, we sort of have divided the foundation now into different campaigns. Like, where are we going to take the donations? How are we going to get them? It's a logistical issue as well. And because our first thought and our first discussion was about South Africa, that is where our first campaign is. So we've just booked our trip, and we're going in September of 2022. Some friends that I met, some lovely people that I met in South Africa last time I was there, are invigilators for the South African Dance Federation, and they are planning a competition to celebrate this Heartsoles, and to have a little introduction to smooth dancing. They don't dance smooth there, so I think they have high expectations of something we're going to show them. I don't know. So they're trying to gather there are several different foundations in South Africa, so they're trying to organize all of the foundations to participate in this competition that will be put on for that weekend that we're there. So we're really looking forward to that. So that's our first campaign, and then we're sort of looking around for where our next one should be. We had a meeting with a gentleman who's working with the Armenian Athletic Trainers Association and the UN, and he expressed some interest. They help train athletic trainers, and so Artsak, I understand, in Armenia is having a difficult time, and that they have quite a substantial ballroom community there. So we're looking at that as well, and other more local areas as well. We just haven't really. We're trying to focus on one first, and we still got to get the shoes cleaned and sanitized and packed.
There's quite a few more things that are kind of on our plate. So
yeah. So much that I want to dive into there. First of all, I think I kind of said at the top, like, it's amazing that you guys are doing this. I think it's a fantastic idea, and I think the fact that the dance community has kind of rallied behind you guys and supported you is just we are a family. We are a generous heart of a community. So it really just took someone stepping up to the plate and saying, all right, we'll take on this initiative for everyone to be able to rally behind. And I'm so glad that it was the two of you that did that. So let's talk about the donations themselves and then talk about missions and kind of the growth of the foundation, kind of where you see it in the future. So when it comes to donating, if we have someone that is listening and is going to be at an upcoming competition or perhaps is in the California area that can kind of stop by and drop off donations, when we're talking about used clothing and used shoes, what is kind of the acceptable amount of well-loved that we can donate?
Oh.
Yeah, well, really, there's really any amount of help is appreciated. So basically, from one pair of shoes to this lady from China that just wanted to donate it was like 300 or 150 350 pairs of shoes. So yeah, really anything and everything we accept that has to do with any type of dance attire or shoes, right? Yeah, so if anybody wanted to donate, let's say I have a few people that wanted to donate from Canada. We can, as a dance community, we're not huge, but we are quite spread out around everywhere around the world. So making whenever like I make a trip to Canada, or when let's say a friend is going to Canada, so we can kind of coordinate that and we can kind of try and either meet somewhere in the middle, or hey, like, are you going to be at USCC, for example? Yeah, I'll be at USCC, and then we kind of meet there. So that's kind of the beauty of that even though we are small, we do travel quite a bit from state to state. So we can always either meet in the middle or meet at a competition, or even at a studio. So that's kind of another thing that we've been doing. We've had quite a few contributions from different studios that have just put out one of our banners, and then we just go, or they ship it to us, or we kind of just figure it out from there.
In terms of the quality of the shoes, if that was your question,
Yes,
we are accepting all donations. Gently used is better, but when we are not those to look a gift horse in the mouth. So I think it's we can look at them and make a determination about whether or not they can be restored to something that would be useful for the competitors in other countries. Obviously, we want the other dancers, the recipients of the shoes, to feel like this is a special gift and that they are that it is something that is going to help them promote their dancing. So we don't want it to feel like it's, I would say we don't want it to feel like it's charity. It's not charity. It's just a little bit of a helping hand. Or it's like having a friend and you want to share your party shoes with them. You don't have black party shoes, I'll give you mine for now. Not, you wouldn't give them something terrible, but I think that we are really desperately looking for someone right now, an organization, a group of people, hopefully someone will hear your podcast and jump in with both feet. But we are looking for people that have the ability and the knowledge to do some basic repairs, nothing outrageous, but basic repairs, and how to clean them. I think it's always an issue to clean these women's shoes. They're like,
yeah.
Even my own, it's like, what? How did this happen? And it's hard to keep them clean, and the fabric is so sensitive. And so we need to find a way. We're looking, we're searching, and maybe it has to be hand done. I don't know, but I want a big, giant magic cave where you put them all in and they come out all shiny and pretty.
Yeah, absolutely. So part of my background before I became a full-time ballroom dancer was I actually worked in the nonprofit space. So I worked at 3 different nonprofits in a volunteer coordinator capacity over the years. And the one thing that I would say whenever we did clothing drives or shoe drives or anything like that is we almost were asking people, we want you to donate, but think about, would you give this to your grandkids? Because if you wouldn't give it to your grandkids, we know that your heart's in the right place, but we'd rather you write a check for $25 to support the organization than give us things that are just going to be destined to go into the dumpster. Because I don't think a lot of people understand that it is a lot of work to sort through and clean and repair and decide what is still salvageable, what is in good quality that we can pass on to someone else, that it doesn't feel like we're just saving it from the dumpster. So, thinking about that when we're donating old costumes or old shoes, if you wouldn't still put this on your body, maybe it's better left somewhere else.
We are also taking financial donations, since you mentioned the check. Since we're new, we're just sort of starting at, the idea was to initially just gather the actual physical donations, but the long-term plan in the next 12 months is to raise $10,000, because Stefan and I had discussed the need for some dancers to actually have the funding to attend competitions for entry fees or whatever. And long range, we would really like to have scholarships where young dancers might be able to come to the United States for a short, workshop period, 2 weeks or a week or something, and maybe be hosted by ballroom dancers who are interested in donating their time or their energy or mentoring in a different way. That's kind of a long-term goal, but we dream big, right? You never know what's gonna happen.
We definitely have so that we're trying to kind of outreach.
No, but I like that. I like we'll start small, but we have an eye to the future, and we kind of know where we would love, if we're able to expand to. I think that's great. If people are listening to the podcast and are considering maybe making a financial contribution, we mentioned that it is a nonprofit. Is it a 501c3 status? Is it a tax-exempt donation, or are we still in the process of kind of working up to that point?
It is a 501c3. Yes.
Excellent. So that's something for everybody to keep in mind. When you donate to a 501c3, that is a tax deductible donation. So not only are you doing good work for your community, you're also saving a little bit from the IRS at the end of the year.
Every little bit helps.
Every little bit helps. Okay, so let's pivot just a little bit and talk about your dance background. You are a Pro-Am partnership, correct?
Yes.
Excellent. And how long?
About Stefan. He's the magic dancer. I just do as I'm told.
Well,
sure, that's actually a good student right there. See, that's exactly why this works so well.
There you go. You mentioned that when you are going to Cape Town in 2022, that the expectation is for you to do a smooth performance of some sort. Is that the area that you primarily dance in?
Well, with my background, I actually started when I was 6, and I did international. And I did international for, I think, about 18. I want to say 18 years. And then from that point on, I was in Canada, and then I moved here about 4 years ago. And in Orange County, I would say that, or I would say more or less in California, that smooth is quite huge. So I started making the transition into smooth, and I started working with Solid Marjana, and then afterwards I was looking for a partner, and then I started working with Eugenia and Anna, and now my current professional partner is Whitney Myers, and I went from there, and I kind of started. I kind of started as like, okay, let me kind of feel it out and see how it is, going into smooth. It's such a different style, but it's a hybrid, I would say, between Latin and ballroom. So I started with that, and honestly, I went from something that I didn't have a lot of expectation to something I just completely got engulfed in, and
total smoothie.
And I love it now. So it's something that definitely took me by surprise.
And when Stefan and I started dancing, we were dancing Latin, and we recently decided not to do Latin anymore, and we were doing international as well.
International ballroom.
International ballroom, right? And then in February of this year, post-pandemic, or what I guess in the midst of pandemic, when we got back to dancing, I said to him, I'm no spring chicken, and Latin is really hard on the body. And I would like to, not do Latin anymore. And, typical teacher, he's like, what? Well, okay, we'll discuss that. But yeah, he says, we'll discuss that. But if you're going to stop Latin, then I want you to try smooth a little bit. Like, he hooked me is what he did. He threw it out there and he just reeled me in. And so we've been doing competing in smooth since March. I started in February. He throws me into a smooth competition in March. So we've been competing since March in international and in smooth. So, but we enjoy it. I think it's fun.
We were like, well, we started the foundation. We don't have enough on our plate. Let's also start smooth.
Right. Not only are we starting a nonprofit foundation, we're also going to start a complete new chapter in your dance career. Let's do it.
Exactly.
But one of the really great things about our partnership, just our overall partnership, not just dance, but the foundation, our friendship, is that we're really on the same page about a lot of things. We have experiences in different areas, and we both bring those experiences to the table, and they seem to meld in such a really genuine way. I mean, I truly, am so grateful to have Stefan in my life. He's a wonderful human being. He's a really great person. He's a wonderful teacher, and he puts up with all my crap.
You can keep going.
And we're really very, very good. We're very good friends, despite our age difference and whatever. We are really good friends.
I think it's definitely that our dynamic is definitely a unique one, in the sense of it's going from being a teacher, then going to being friends, then going to being even more of a partnership into this foundation that we have. And I think that our whole dynamic is just so unique and so rare that we're able to be quite like-minded, and we're both extremely hard workers, and we both strive for excellence, right?
Yeah, strive for excellence, our motto.
Right. So she's also a fantastic student, and we both know our boundaries with each other, in the sense of, all right, we're gonna push something a little bit more, and then okay, and so I think we're both very, very thankful and grateful for each other, I'd say.
And I think it's unique because we know each other so well now. It's we can bring very differing points of view and have a really significant disagreement in terms of our points of view, not between us, but we're able to work through those things and bring each other on board, or say, hey, oh no, you're right, that was a really crappy idea, or let's try it this way. Or Stefan will say, why don't we hold off on that and approach it in this way? It's just a really good, well-rounded relationship, which really benefits not only our dancing, but definitely the foundation as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's the kind of relationship that I think every instructor wants for their students, and every student wants with their instructor, is something where you trust each other enough to push each other's boundaries, but you also respect each other enough to know what you can and can't push, what you can and can't do. That you can that you can share ideas, and that you've created an environment where topics are open for discussion, and you can have creative disagreements, but you're on the same page at the end of the day, what the ultimate goal is. I think that's the best possible scenario in dancing and in business and in life. So how long have you guys been dancing together?
3 weeks? No. About 2 years?
I think it's about 2.5.
2.5 years, maybe?
Yeah.
Wow.
Not long.
That's amazing. That's incredible. So you started...
It's felt a lot longer at some point.
Most days.
Most days when we stroll into the studio at 9.
At 9 a.m. I hope you brought coffee.
But that's
best dance teacher ever. He brings coffee.
Right. There's that.
There you go. Yeah, no, that's incredible to have formed such a strong bond and a strong trust in that short amount of time. So then you guys started dancing, you started training, Deb, with Stefan just before the pandemic hit?
Well, let's see, about a year before the pandemic.
Yeah.
Okay.
We started, I'm not very good at the anniversary things. It's not important to me, but I would say we've been dancing together for consistently and solely for about 2.5 years. I think that's about right. The pandemic, I don't know how long that's gone on, but it seems like forever.
Too long. Way too long.
But we really clicked when we first started dancing together. We just really got each other, I think. And it's worked really well. And I think that now with just the short time that we've been dancing, because we mostly he pushes me in the dance department, I think the progress has been really phenomenal in a really short period of time. I'm not a very confident dancer on the floor, but Stefan makes me feel confident. And he's like, you can do it. I know you can do it. And it's just a really great thing. I love dancing with him. It's like a great thing.
That's awesome.
He's not going to say that. I'm going to say that. He's like, she's okay.
Like she said, we both do each other really well, and I think we're both super thankful for that, which is awesome.
Yeah, that's incredible. So, so the foundation came out as a product of the pandemic. What was it like for that 6 months, year, 18 months, what is time anymore, when we weren't able to dance, but you were still clearly involved in each other's lives, still kept in communication in order for this foundation to happen? So what was that process like of keeping in touch and deciding, hey, why not, let's go into business together?
Yeah, so
lots of texting.
Lots of texting, lots of phone calls. Really it was just a lot of back and forth, and like, hey, how can we make this happen? How can let's kind of talk about ways when things do get better, so we can kind of just go at it full force. So I think it was quite a bit of planning, and it was a lot of
Starbucks coffee meetings and that kind of thing. And we also did before the idea of the foundation started, we were kind of brainstorming about what is it that we could do. What else could we do? How could we help? Should we think about kids in the inner city? Are there programs helping kids in the inner city, for example? Are there programs in like Canada where Stefan is from? Is there something that we could do there? We just sort of tossed around a lot of ideas. Do we want to do when the pandemic is over? Basically, Stefan, I can't do this, but do you want to teach classes, or could we do something where we could give free classes to inner city students or something like that? We tossed around all these ideas, but when you don't know when it's going to end, and you don't know if you're ever going to be able to be in proximity with other people again, the foundation was kind of born from that idea from the past of, we can give back, and we don't even have to be there. We could do this even if there were no competitions and we weren't gathering shoes there. People could still save them up, and we could drive around and collect them. That it just kind of happened that way. It was
just something that we definitely talked a lot about, and something that we wanted to, okay, if we're going to do this, we're going to do this at full force, and we're going to stick to it. This is not just going to be a quick little idea that we're gonna just mash up together quickly and just kind of throw it at the wall and see if it sticks, So I think it definitely took a lot of like Deb said, a lot of planning, a lot of ideas, and I think it's something that we truly both genuinely care about, and something that we want to make sure we keep this for long term. This is not just going to be a quick 6-month thing, and then after that we're gonna fade off. So I think, yeah.
Yeah, so we mentioned that the initial push is in South Africa, and then we're in discussions of maybe expanding to Armenia. You mentioned a moment ago, initially on the drawing board was potentially inner city, potentially doing something with the Canadian ballroom community. Why not start something local? Why not start local and then branch out internationally?
Well, we discussed that.
Mm-hmm.
Remember we were talking about that, and there are a number of programs that are currently in place. One that comes to mind right away is the Fordney Foundation, the Debbie Allen School. There are a lot of local schools, especially in Southern California, where we're located, that offer programs to help kids and other dancers who need assistance or a boost. And so I think because Africa is really, truly my happy place, it's just really a thing.
She likes us.
I
every single time.
I love Africa. I think that was the germ of the idea. And yes, it seems so far away, and it seems so, I think, exotic to a lot of people, because it's not someplace that people would associate ballroom dance with, or really have spent a lot of time there. But because I have a little bit of a base there, and I've been there a few times, and the people are so warm and accepting and beautiful people, and I just thought, like, this is a connection that that could really work for the way that we are together and how our vision would work. And there is a lot, to be quite honest, there is both a little more freedom and a lot more red tape when you're doing something in a foreign country, but there's a lot less stringent requirements in terms of, are the shoes used? In the United States, you donate used shoes to a group, and then they're going to want them to be a certain way and a certain standard, and
a lot more hoops.
Yeah, a lot of hoops. There's a lot more hoops to get the stuff to Africa. We can't ship. It's so cost prohibitive. It's unbelievable. We were thinking about shipping, and it was over $10,000 to send a shipment of shoes to South Africa, and not knowing whether or not actually they would really make it through customs and ever get released. So we booked a trip. We're going to donate them. And I think that is now one of the really important things to us in our foundation, is that we want to be there. We want to make sure that the donations are getting where they need to be.
Rather than spending $10K, then hoping that they're going to get to the place that they're intended for, and then it says delivered, and then all of a sudden
you don't know.
We're like, well, where is it? And we're like,
We also we have a little tie-in where we're still working, and it's long term, but I have a friend who worked for the United Cerebral Palsy Foundation organization. They have a big distribution of wheelchairs to many countries, and they ship on a huge basis. And so maybe at some time in the future, they might be kind enough to deliver some of our donations as well. We don't know.
So
we have lots of ideas.
We're definitely kind of just like trying to work in a way that's going to be beneficial for everyone, and I guess that the most important part is safe, that it'll actually get there, and everything will be distributed as it should be. So, but that's not to say that maybe, because we are still such a young foundation, that in the future that we will be also working locally. So again, we're both super open-minded, and we're both super wanting to kind of whatever ideas come to us, and however we can make things work. I think we'd certainly be up to us to step up to the plate. So
and we're totally open to ideas. If there are listeners out there, or other people that come to us and say, hey, what about this? Have you thought about that? Or I know of this issue, or this opportunity. We are open to all of those things, and we're happy to meet and talk with people. Meet and talk with people, and explore those opportunities.
And if people wanted to reach out to us, you can definitely go on our website, heartsolesfoundation.org, Right? Just a little plug in there.
Look at him.
So plug, or
love
reach
it.
out to us on Facebook or through Instagram. And I'm sure that you'll have something posted after the podcast that that people can reach out to us as well. So.
Yep. I always say it at the end, but I'll say it now since we brought it up. There will be links in the description box below wherever you are listening or watching this episode to all of those, the website, the Instagram, the Facebook, and the Twitter, so you can reach out and be in contact there.
Awesome.
Perfect.
Yeah. So just before we wrap up today, because I know you've got amazing things to do with the rest of your morning, I did want to find out what your dance plans are for the rest of 2021. Do you have a lot of competitions coming up? Are we excited, or are we taking this as a retrain and recenter year?
No, definitely. I don't think retrain, recenter. I think we're definitely going for it.
We're on the freight train.
Yeah. So we're right now. We just came back from a competition in San Antonio, and I think that was the competition that we just mentioned, San Antonio Classic, and that's Sveta, Jason, and Eddie's competition. And now this weekend coming up, we're at Gatsby. Then afterwards, we're gonna be at Embassy and then USDC. So we're definitely going for it. And
He thinks I'm young.
See, this is exactly where I keep pushing that envelope. And see how far we can get. And we've already achieved great things, and we're gonna achieve even greater things. So
sweet.
That's fantastic. Competing in International Ballroom and American Smooth.
So we're going to be competing in International Standard and Smooth, and I'll also be competing with my professional partner in Smooth.
Excellent. Rising Star or Open Professional?
Both.
Wonderful.
It's a beautiful thing to watch.
Not just doing one or the other. We're going for both on that one.
That's excellent. And what has the competition scene felt like since everything's starting to come back up? I'm seeing all of the competitions that are really going full force. We're starting to hear back from competitors that have gone to multiple weekends in a row. What does it feel like to be back in the ballroom and back on the floor?
You know, I think at the beginning, and I'll speak for myself. I'm sure Deb has her own feelings for this, but I think at the beginning everybody was a little weary of it. Like, oh man, okay, we're kind of coming back, and I don't know how everyone else felt, but I personally felt like, okay, let's kind of see how things go. Let's kind of creep in there, and then again, I think it was just an explosion of positive vibes and positive feelings and a sense of community coming back into the ballroom world, and everyone just being happy to be around other people and friends that you haven't seen and I don't even know how long anymore it's been.
It felt like 100 years.
Yeah, and just seeing, oh, like, how are you doing? Oh, like, you have a beard now, or it's like it's just one of those things where it seemed such a thing of is this ever going to come back to normal again? Any normalities? And yeah, it's just been I think it's just been overall a very nice positive feel at competitions, and I think all the organizers have done a fantastic job of keeping things safe and as sanitary as possible, undergoing all these changing conditions of the virus. So I think it's definitely been a very positive thing.
Yeah, I felt like when we got back, I think our first competition was in March.
I
Yeah,
think
we
so.
did San Francisco in March, I think.
Yeah, I can't really recall anymore.
And I feel like the vibe in the ballroom was really, really different than it was a year ago. And I think my own personal experience was I felt like there was much more joy. There was much more sense of community support. And by that, I mean, oftentimes you'll go to a competition, and while people speak to each other, they stay with their own studio or their own group of people. But I think, yeah, they're their group, their support group. But my experience has been people that you don't even know or have only met once, or you met in the hallway outside the ballroom. When you get on the floor, those people are cheering for you and they are wishing you well. And there is a really great sense. I feel like there's more of like a weaving of the ballroom community, and all the fabrics of these different studios and competitions and organizers and judges are all weaving together to create a really much stronger fabric of the ballroom community. It just feels much more like if you jump, someone's going to catch you. If your partner's, over there talking to somebody else and you feel like you're falling, someone's going to be there to pick you up.
Yeah, there's definitely a sense of unity.
Yeah,
I'd say.
I think that's
excellent. It's good to know that when everyone thought that all was lost and now we're back on the other side, it's made us a stronger community and more grateful to be able to do what we love every single day, rather than, going back to old ways. So I think that's fantastic to hear that sense of camaraderie has come back, and hopefully it continues that way for years to come.
Exactly.
fingers crossed, right?
Yeah. Excellent. Well, thank you so much, Deb and Stefan, for being guests today on the podcast. Any last things that you want to leave our listeners with?
No, just I'd say that we're grateful for everybody's support, and obviously for your support as well. Thank you for having us again, and we're always open to if anybody has any ideas or anyone wanting to contribute more to the foundation. Again, I'm sure, like you said, that the links are below. So and yeah, any ideas or any donations or anything like that, we're always open to it, and we're always happy to hear from anybody and everybody.
And our little catchphrase for our foundation is dancers helping dancers, 2 souls at a time. So any contribution you make is a huge change in somebody's life. It really, really does make a gigantic difference in the life of a dancer in an impoverished community. So give generously, give from your heart. And thank you for having us, Samantha.
Thank you. Thank you once again to Deborah and Stefan for being guests on the podcast today. As we mentioned earlier, if you want to reach out to support the Heartsoles Foundation, or if you just want to follow along with their progress, links are in the description box below. As always, I'm Samantha. I'm your host with Love.Live.Dance. You can find the podcast versions of these episodes at ballroomchat.com, or you can watch the YouTube versions of these interviews at the Love.Live.Dance YouTube channel. You can also follow us across social media at Ballroom Chat on Instagram and Facebook. If you've not already done so, please do make sure that you hit the like button on this video, or make sure that you are subscribed if you have not already done so. If you're listening to us in podcast form, make sure that you subscribe or follow the channel, given the appropriate platform. And as always, stay safe, stay positive, and we hope to see you dancing very soon.